Hi, my name is David Gottlieb. I'm the presiding judge at the Juvenile Delinquency Court here in Fresno County. Welcome to the S.H.A.R.E program. As a judge, I review crimes that are committed because of race, religion, colors claimed, or sexual orientation on a daily basis. The video you're about to watch is real. The feelings expressed are real. The consequences and impact on the community are real. After watching the film, you'll be asked to help find solutions to hate crimes that are committed here in our community. Each of you will be asked to participate and consider how the persons in the film were affected and what you can do as a community youth to change unfairness, discrimination, and illegal treatment depicted in the film. My hope for this film and this program is that those that are watching can become activists who make a difference, stop hate, and respect everyone.
It don't make me feel too good at all, especially if nothing wasn't really done about it.
3 weeks to school, boys will be boys and kids will be kids.
I was walking through the halls and they bumped into me, pinned me up against the corner.
And he was also told that if he told his parents or anybody else that he would get his father's gun and kill him.
And it's really heartbroken to see our children being beat like that.
She actually yanked my scarf and was trying to take it off my head and wrapped it around one of the poles of the swing set.
Just as a mom, people need to speak up, and parents need to speak up.
Continuously beating me, kicking me, spitting on me.
Young people need to stop hurting their parents.
In high school, I was angry. I just wanted to fight. I had grown up so much fighting, it was like, that's what I wanted. And I was beginning to kind of dwell into the gang member life and stuff like that, and I was teasing with it, you know what I mean? I had never gotten fully into it, but it was a reason to fight. There was my friends, and those are the people we don't like, so let's fight them. And I remember I'd fought one dude one day, no reason at all. We were supposed to all fight after school. It was supposed to be a big old rumble between the two, and security heard about it, broke it all up, make sure it didn't happen. So I was in the front. I had seen this kid there. I knew he wasn't with my friends. I knew he was an enemy. So I was like, let's go fight. So we went around the corner. I beat him up. It was just another day.
Hate crimes are unacceptable. Bullying is unacceptable. We are to treat people with dignity and respect. And regardless of color, regardless of gender, sexual preference, whatever the case may be, it's our responsibility in society, whether you are an adult or a student, to treat people with respect.
On July 1st, 2007, one of my older friends, David Vera, was shot in the chest and he died. 2 months later, on September 1st, my cousin Caleb was stabbed in the chest a week before his 18th birthday and died. 2 months later, on November 1st, I was stabbed by the kid I had beat up in high school.
I think what we have now is that there are more bullies out there. Before, it was a small group of people that really preyed on individuals, and you find that number has increased over time because of people have gotten into groups, gangs, and as part of their initiation sometimes they have to bully someone, or as a part of being of a gang, for example, you have to go out and make people feel the pressure. And the only way you can do that is by bullying those people and making them either change and become, just like you, or for example, you want them to join your gang. Well, the best way to make someone join your gang is to give them choices, and the ultimatum is, you're the enemy, or you're going to be part of the team. And that in itself creates the bully, and that also creates your victims.
I thought about that day when we all met up to fight, and Johnny and Juan had fought, and I met Caleb and was like, now they're dead. Juan, a little bit later, got arrested, and he's doing a couple years at Salinas Valley right now for robbery. And I think back to us four. We're all kids, and we didn't understand the gravity of what we were starting to get ourselves into at that age. We didn't understand. We just wanted to be a part of it.
I grew up in this lifestyle. From the age of 12 till I was 30. I fought in the streets, from juvenile hall, and ended up in Pelican Bay, the security housing unit. And there is hope for people like us. And when I mean us, I mean people like myself. People who had tattoos all over them, which I've removed. People who were in Pelican Bay, violent offenders, bullies, people who just victimize people. There is hope for people like us. And it's people like coaches and people in my life who helped me. But eventually I reached this point where I could no longer deny the fact that I was a good person. And I've always been a good person. And although I was claiming to be a leader, I realized all my life I had been a follower. And the only people who don't follow are the people who make decisions like a decision I made after 18 years of this lifestyle to say no more.
I'm a very optimistic person. I believe that there is a hope. And I also believe that everybody can be redeemed. Even the bullies can be redeemed. We should not treat them like an outcast. We try to reach them out, and we ourselves have to be at peace within our own selves. If we are not at peace within our own selves, it is going to be difficult to spread the peace outside like that.
Almost 16 years that I've been out, and today I work with adolescent boys, and I tell them my story. And most of these boys come here and they remove their tattoos and reconnect with their families and write beautiful letters to their grandmothers and their mothers and their sisters and brothers, making a commitment that they do see what's important in life, and it isn't the homeboys, and it isn't the gangs, and it isn't the drugs, and that it is better to be loved than it is to be feared.
Why are you bullying me?
Will this make you popular?
Are you really that insecure? Are you really that selfish? Am I that important to you?
There's no need.
To threaten me.
For rumors about me.
For physical abuse. To gossip about me.
To send me nasty emails.
Why are you bullying me? Are you really that mean?
Does it make you feel alive? Does it make you feel better about yourself?
Why don't you stop?
There's no need.
For rumors about me. To kick me.
To send me nasty text messages.
Why are you bullying me?
Do you want to be my friend? Are you really that selfish?
Are you really that mean? Is it because you get away with it?
Why are you bullying me? To damage my property.
Why are you bullying me?
There's no need.
No one is born hating another person. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love.
Bullying is a very important issue that needs to be discussed in every community. In the Muslim American community, people have faced all sorts of kinds of bullying, and children are facing it at a much higher rate than ever before, where young Muslim girls who may wear the hijab, which is the headscarf, are being bullied and taunted. Young boys who may not look like their peers in their classrooms are being taunted and bullied, and this is something that is really having a very profound impact on our young people in this community. They are a part of American society, and they're being made to feel that they don't belong here. And many of them are even born and raised here and are having people look at them as if they're an alien.
Well, I think the most important thing that people need to keep in mind is that this is a really very significant problem on the campuses of many schools in Fresno today. And I think sometimes people think they may notice something that may be a little bit questionable, maybe a little bit bullying, but they're kind of likely to dismiss it. Oh, I'm sure so-and-so just knew it was a joke, or they seem like they could handle it. And I just want to call attention to those kinds of things and say, you know what, we need to shine a spotlight on that. If that's you in that situation, you know how it feels. And if you see something that you think is putting another person in a very uncomfortable position, you need to draw attention to it in whatever way you think is appropriate. Bring in the right people to get involved, but don't dismiss it, and don't just think, oh, I'm sure it's just fine, so-and-so, they can handle it. Don't assume that, because you never know what all's going on, and it's important that we all work together and create a really supportive environment for each other.
When I was a young kid, my grandma always looked at me and said, son, I see greatness in you, never stop dreaming. Because everyone has greatness in them. And sometimes along the way, it's people by bullying and because of you, who you are as an individual, and sometimes you stop people from dreaming. Why? Because you start bullying them and you take away their greatness. Sometimes people can stop reaching their full potential because they were bullied, because they were taken advantage of, because they were less fortunate.
I remember when I was in 5th grade, there was a student in my class who was about a foot taller than I was. She was Russian. And I remember her taunting me daily in the schoolyard. And she would try to always pull at my hijab. At one point when we were playing in the playground, she actually yanked my scarf and was trying to take it off my head and wrapped it around one of the poles of the swing set, to the point that I actually feared for my life because I thought I was going to be choked to death.
I remember I was at a track meet. I was bigger, stronger than this guy, but he was, on the rougher side of town. And I remember I had a hamburger and I'm eating it at the track meet. This guy knocks it out of my hand and I froze. I mean, I've been even bullied. I mean, I've had a guy, a buddy Ruben, who's a friend of mine now. He's a boxer, and we're walking from school, and God, he punched me, and I didn't respond. And I was like, wow. And I was still bigger, stronger, but I wasn't about to being physical and being able to touch and hurt guys and doing those things, but I didn't know what I had. And it was good, because if I did, maybe I would have hurt someone. Maybe I would have did something that, wasn't right. But
to be a real man, you have to walk away. You got to learn to walk away. To me, it takes a bigger man to be able to walk away from a fist fight than to do that. Because I'm only going to get scarred up, beat up maybe, or it's going to leave a scar on me emotionally. But to walk away from that, what do I have? I'm the winner because I don't walk away with a scar. I don't walk away with a hurt feeling. So I win.
In the various forms of pain that we deal with in life, from being taunted and ridiculed or bullied during our lifetime while we're growing up, it had given me the opportunity to turn that around and make it more positive. Having the opportunity with TLC to film All American Muslim and highlight the lives of American Muslims in this country was giving us that opportunity to show the beauty of who Muslims are, and to show the beauty of this nation and how diverse it is, and that we all come from somewhere wanting to build a better life, raise a good family, and instill strong values in our children.
It's interesting. You're at the school watching this video, you're like, man, who's this old guy who played 16 years in the NFL, who played with LaDainian Tomlinson, who's probably going to retire, and played with Drew Brees and Ryan Matthews, and played with Tom Brady and all these guys that I know personally, and played with guys like Jerry Rice, and played against guys like Ronnie Lott, who you guys probably have no idea. You're like, what is this old guy can tell me? Well, I can still Dougie. I can still do all that stuff. Even my day, we had the Cabbage Patch. Hey, but you know what? For you to go around and bully and hurt and misuse your abilities that God has given us, the gift of being stronger, the gift of maybe being smarter. Because bullying also is not just a physical thing of me using my fists and saying, I'm gonna bully you. It's also a mental thing that you can go and bully someone mentally and kill their self-esteem.
One of the best things you can do as a young person to get out in front of this hate thing is start acting the way you would like to be treated. Treat other people that same way. Look for opportunities to bring people in rather than to push people away. It's real interesting when you look at what takes place when people get to know each other. It reduces anxiety. You might find you actually like them. You've got some things that you have in common, and so we look for opportunities to bring people together. And we've done this here at the County Office of Education quite frequently, where we bring students from multiple schools together from different backgrounds, and they find they have so much in common. They never would have thought it, but you bring them from Parlier and Clovis West, for example, and you think, okay, what does a county school and a city school have in common? And yet kids from those schools are still kids. Lots of positive things when you get together and chat with each other.
We hate some persons because we do not know them, and we will not know them because we hate them.
We got down there and I started school, and I had made a few friends on the first day, and they knew some other girls, and we didn't exactly get along, but we were cordial, so we had our moments. And then we became friends on MySpace, and that was a big thing back then. So everyone was popular on MySpace, and we started hanging out more. And then one day, I found out they were, talking behind my back, and I was really shy back then, so I wasn't exactly confrontational. And when I found out that they were saying things about me that I didn't like, I tried to ask them why. And they just started, cussing me out and kind of just being jerks. I just ignored it at first, and then when I got to be really bad, I would sit on the computer and I would, I didn't tell them off, but I told them in a very serious manner to leave me alone. Or else, my parents would get involved.
I felt completely torn about, as a mom, what to do with this. And then it began escalating.
So it got to the point where every other word was a cuss word. I talk shit about you, so you better not talk shit about me or else I'm gonna you up. Simple things like that. And I finally, after we had called the cops once, they didn't take it serious, so we had to call them again, and they told them they really needed to stop, and it calmed down a little bit, and the threats weren't so much, but the bullying was still kind of going on.
I think when you're in the moment, it's hard to defend yourself because you think they're going to pick on you more, so you don't really know how to react.
Yeah, they keep it to themselves, and then all of it builds up inside of them, and then sometimes they just crack.
Most people don't say anything to an adult because adults don't really help. I hate to say that, but they don't. They can't. Even if they talk to the student who was being a bully, the bully just picks on the kid even more. And no matter what they try to do, usually it doesn't make the situation any better, and so kids don't even tell teachers anymore or adults because the situation usually just gets worse.
I believe you have to go to a trusted adult. When you try and handle it yourself, that's a lot of pressure on a young person. Choose who you trust most and tell, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a law enforcement officer. It might be your pastor at church, but you need to tell an adult that you trust and then remind them if you don't feel that action's being taken quickly enough.
It has always been a mystery to me how men can feel themselves honored by the humiliation of their fellow beings.
I'm LaShawn Jordan,
and my disability is cerebral palsy. What cerebral palsy is I only have really control of one side of my body. It kind of restricts what I can and can't do, and it's kind of hard to live with it, of course, because my pride kind of steps in. It was back in high school, and it was actually, they would say smart aleck things about how I was getting extra advantages and getting things done for me, or how my life was a lot easier because I could sit in a chair, and they didn't understand that being in the chair is actually kind of hard for me, because I want to do as much as I can for myself.
When I think over the years of bullying that I've seen, it comes mostly in terms of verbal bullying, I believe. And I think of the dirty words we hear. You know, we hear the word gimp, we hear the word crippled, we hear the word retard. And those are filthy words because they demean people. And the reality is people with disabilities are people. A few years ago we did a campaign, and the question was, how do you treat a person with a disability? Well, like a person, because they're people.
When I was growing up, I had to deal with being teased and bullied for being overweight. It really hurt me inside, and I was very embarrassed every time I got teased. One time I had broke my ankle, and I was in crutches, and it was a rainy day, and I went to school and I fell down, and a whole group of people came around me saying, "You're fat, that's why you fell." Just teasing me and being mean, and no one even helped me up. Nothing. So that was very, very a big part of my life that really, really hurt. After getting traumatized a lot with getting bullied and teased, I turned in and cutting myself, and I wanted to kill myself. I dropped out of school. My last school year, I missed 71 days of school because I didn't want to go to school to get teased, because that's all I felt like I did when I was at school, is get teased.
And when you have children like Ronnie, who has been put down, discriminated against, called names, made fun of, falls on the ground and no one's helping her, that really can lead you to having a very bad sense of self-esteem, which leads to depression, which can lead a lot of kids to engage in cutting behaviors.
If I was supposed to give somebody help with being overweight, of getting teased, all I could say is for them to kind of ignore them, or go tell their parents, or try to talk to the principal about it and have them talk to the bullies.
If I had a room full of bullies and I had the ability to be able to talk to them, I would tell them that, you know, nobody knows what another person's going through at all. And they don't have to understand, but what they need to do is maybe look and see, maybe that kid could use some understanding.
When I was at school and I fell down on crutches, I wish there was somebody there to help me up, to make the bullies stop teasing me too. Because now I know that if somebody else falls and they're getting bullied, I know I could go help them because I know how much it hurts inside to get that happen to you. I know how it feels, and I wouldn't want you to feel that same way.
I think it's a collective effort. I don't think any one person can stop bullying. I think it has to be everybody. It has to be all the students watching, and it has to be the bully feeling that what he's doing is wrong based off of his peers.
I think it has a lot to do with popularity and being cool, in a sense. They join in because they see those kids doing it, and they want to be popular, so they join in and make fun of those people. Yeah, it's honestly just a popularity thing. If the coolest person in school is bullying someone, then automatically everyone feels that they can bully that person too.
And so that one person that's being bullied by all kinds of kids just feels like the world is all against them. And whether it's like 5 people or 10 people, it's more than one. And it's not that someone's being bullied by one person, it's like they're being bullied by a whole group of people, by the whole school, by everyone that they look up to and everyone they're supposed to be going to school with. And in their mind it blows up. It's too much to handle.
Frankly, there isn't anyone you couldn't learn to love once you've heard their story.
My name is Steven, and I'm a homosexual male. Growing up wasn't the best life for me. Ever since middle school, I've been ranted and taunted due to the fact that I acted very feminine. I was called gay, I was called other malicious words, and I was always teased, pushed around, thrown down to the ground, and just made fun of during recess. During classes, I used to be flicked upon my ear, spit wads, just all kinds of papers with malicious things on them, saying I'm gay, I'm a pig, I should be dead. I dealt with that for a while because it was just simply papers and spit wads and just names. As soon as I hit 6th grade, that's when violence started coming on. That's when I started getting into fights. That's when I started getting into arguments due to the fact who I was. And in 3rd grade, I already knew who I was. And it's bad to say what I was because it's who I am. And people don't understand that. So in 6th grade, that's when I got into my first fights and everything. In 7th grade is when things started becoming a little bit more aggressive. The names started happening more. People just wouldn't leave me alone. Kids just taunted me, messing around with me. Just wherever I went, I was made fun of, laughed at, pointed. So it was pretty bad. When high school came around, I thought, hey, it's high school, it's going to be a whole new world. But no. The ranting and the taunting came with me. My name was used as being gay. People would say, oh, you're Steven. Oh, you're Steven.
Whenever someone is talking about an individual who happens to be homosexual, that pretty much contains the whole story. It's, oh my gosh, they're gay, and oh, they're gay, like that's a disgusting form of them, and why are they being like that, and all that kind of thing. And it definitely gets back to the person, and they know that they're being talked about. They see it everywhere they go, and no one really does anything. Everyone kind of just like agrees, because if you stand up and say, hey, that's just like who they are, who cares if they're gay, then you'll definitely get some jokes put at you because you're defending someone who's gay, so maybe you're gay.
As far as for the youth that need advice or need someone to talk to, try finding different organizations like the LGBT. You could go find your support from your friends. Talk to somebody. Don't hold it in. If you hold it in, that's what leads to many teen homosexual suicides. Speak to somebody. Talk to somebody. Somebody's willing to listen, and somebody's willing to talk.
Youth fades, love droops, the leaves of friendship fall. A mother's secret, hope, outlives them all.
The doctor and the police officer came in and asked who was the mother, and he told me he was sorry that Larry done passed.
My son, David Gomez, his life was taken November 7th of '02.
And my son was a victim of crime, and his name was Ricky Herrera. And
that first Thanksgiving, my son got murdered July the 14th, 2001.
Oh my God. We got the call about 2:30 in the morning. I do not like the phone to ring at 2 in the morning. I just know it's not a good call. And that's what happened November the 7th of '02.
I got a phone call regarding about 11:45, and someone asked me, "Are you Yolanda Contreras?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he says, "Have the police contacted you?" And I said, "No, they haven't." And right there and then, I kind of questioned it in my head, what is going on? And he said, "I'll call you back." And then within 5 minutes, I got that phone call, and he goes, "Miss Contreras, I'd like you to come down with a family member." And I said, "Hey, may I ask you this question first? Will my son be able to speak?" He said, "No." "Is it really that bad?" He said, "Yes."
We were sound asleep and the phone rang, and my daughters told me, Mom, get down here to the hospital. David's been shot. Something told me my son was going to be gone.
When I want to spend time with him, I come out here. We used to say, "I love you" every day. And at nighttime when we go to bed, we say, "I love you," and I don't hear that no more.
They go through the same thing. Their families asked them the same thing that my family. "Why are you still crying over? It's been 10. God, I don't care if it be 30 years from now. My son is gone."
It was one of the ugliest experiences, You live with it every day.
The halls were packed, the walls were lined. I could feel the truth in the tears screaming from their eyes. The room was cold and full of strangers, but it feels so empty with fear. The skin now pale, and my touch was too late. But at that moment, I felt a voice of comfort say, "He's no longer here. He's now free." And I should have been there to help you make it to the car. And I should have told you I loved you the last time you called. And there's no more than words could say than what I feel. This is real. And I'm alone again.
We're
First of all, I want to thank God for my kids. It's out of control. I'm ready to go. Ready to start over. We have a journey to go. We just need to stop and wait on God.
You would want someone to come out and respect you, so you should respect everybody.
It's important that as a young person, you ask questions.
And so we need to stop, again, berating people and disrespecting people because they're different.
I think it's a collective effort. I don't think any one person can stop bullying. I think it has to be everybody.
The issue is, what are we going to do about bullying?
Bullying cannot live in darkness. All we have to do is turn on the lights, and what you find is that there are far fewer bullies than you think.
I believe the diameter of your knowledge is the circumference of your activity. And with the help of good people, I learned to love myself more.
Well, when we ask the question about who can help solve the problem of bullying, it's me, it's you, it's all of us. It's a societal problem, and we all have to say no to this. You know, my understanding of what it is to be a bully is to be a coward. And we hide behind, a bully hides behind their insecurity and their cowardice by inflicting that on other people. And if we as a society would just stand up and say no, it's not going to happen anymore, it would stop.
They drew a circle that shut me out, heretic, rebel, a thing to flout, but love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that drew them in.
Thank you for watching the S.H.A.R.E video. There are a number of community resources you can turn to if you require help or assistance, including Boys and Girls Club of Fresno County, 559-266-3117, Fresno Suicide Prevention Service, 1-800-273-TALK, that's 1-800-273-8255, United Way of Fresno County, 559-244-5710, Sanctuary and Youth Services, Safe Place, 559-498-8543, The Trevor Project, providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning youth, 1-310-271-8845. If you need to speak to someone now, please locate a staff member before you leave. Thank you for watching this film, and let's stop hate and respect everyone.